issue. Tell me what sparked that interest into getting into the fitness industry.
Definitely. We'll even go further back with
okay, we can, we got time, honey. The couch is comfy.
We'll go further back with fitness. That spark started when I was in middle school. That's when that spark happened from I guess I can call it a traumatic event that changed the course of my life, right? So I think that I'm a firm believer that just the right amount of trauma can help you be successful, right? So
run that back for the people in the back.
Just the right amount of trauma can help you be successful. So or put you in the right direction can change things. You can word that however you want to, but the right amount of trauma can do good.
Happy hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. I just want to say welcome to another wonderful episode of your Heard It Here podcast with me, VTC Heard. And today, as you can see, I have, yes, you have to do it for me though, okay? I have one of my dear friends and also two lovely entrepreneur, and of course y'all can see all this fineness sitting on this couch here. So I just want everyone to say and give a big welcome to Bakari Taylor.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Very happy.
I know, I'm so excited because we actually, funny story, we met actually at an old employer of ours, and then we start doing events together.
Yeah.
And then we both went official in our own different way. You continue with training. You're a master trainer now, right?
Yes.
All right.
Master trainer. So still got one more tier, another promotion to go at the gym I work at, VIDA Fitness. In May. That's the next promotion. So
yeah. All right. So sorry, I have no idea what that was, but probably what braid. Excuse me. So
fresh braids.
Right, fresh braid. I told y'all, it's giving a whole ombre moment. She's giving a mood, okay?
Love that.
Yes, your hair is looking fly too, darling. Yes, it's giving a moment. Everything. So, Bakari, let's tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I know we just covered the fact that you have one more promotion to go before you are at the next level at VIDA Fitness. But tell everybody who you
are. From local born and raised. So born in DC, raised in Prince George's County, Maryland, where we currently are. Parents right down the road, about 5 minutes down the road.
Okay.
And went to undergrad at Hampton University. Loved basketball. The only one HU.
Okay.
Only one. Played basketball there. Played basketball my whole life. Loved it. Found more so though my passion was fitness and strength and conditioning. Took a liking to that and decided to pursue that educationally and get my master's in fitness management and kinesiology from Indiana University. That was in 2014. We are almost 10 years later from now. In between that time, I've lived in Richmond as well as the DC metro area and various areas. And it's still been within fitness for 10 years. So fitness been paying the bills. And been able to live a great life from doing what I love in between. So, ramp up to current day, currently working at VIDA Fitness in DC, specifically at Navy Yard, and been there going on. This coming May will be 5 years.
Yes, congratulations.
So, fitness, a lot of times you see very heavy turnover, quick turnover. Oh, somebody just started. 6 months later, they gone. Somebody just started. A year later, they gone. That's so 5 years in the fitness industry. I'm now an OG, which is crazy to even think.
I mean, you always been OG to me, but I mean, hey.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So that's where we are modern day, of course, with a lot of different other things going on outside of the gym as well.
Okay. So your Instagram is Body by Bakari. Not Bacardi, sorry.
If I had $1.
Body by Bakari. Y'all know I have a little tongue twister thing. Body by Bakari. What inspired you to have that name?
Body by Bakari came from one of my best friends. His name is Andrew. He goes by Audio. We grew up with him called Audio on Instagram. His name is Brand with Drew. He's a branding guru, expert, owns his own company on branding and marketing. He came up with that name when we were in college. We grew up together here in PG County and then also went to Hampton together. he came up with that
Okay,
name
Hitler.
as my best friend and like personal marketing manager, right? When I started to have a passion for fitness and started to train people and started to do boot camps, he said, "Hey, we need to make you a brand.
Yes.
And we need to have a name that people, whenever they see the name, they'll think of you." So
Mm-hmm.
he is actually the one that came up with that name back in 2011, and decided to put it on all social platforms. So
Have you
that's so I,
trademarked it?
uh, that's a good question.
We're
Good
going to trade.
question.
We need to trademark you. You
Yeah,
got to
if it's
trademark
not,
that.
I gotta hit him up. I gotta call him back, see if we did. That's an excellent question. So maybe, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta
Well,
do a little
if you
research.
haven't already, this is me telling you to trademark it
Yes, ma'am.
now,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
as we also know, when we met, you guys know that I've told you that I went by TikTok Don't Stop. Now, before TikTok was actually TikTok, I was performing it with poetry. When TikTok came on the scene, it was like, ooh, and trademark it, but they trademarked it, and that's how you kind of lose out on stuff. So if someone
Right.
else were to come
Right.
out and say Body by Bakari, even if
Yeah.
they do have your name, then you lose on that, and then they can actually come after you, especially when you're gaining traction the way
Right.
that you are. So
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen to anybody else, especially within our communities. We don't always have the education
Mm,
on the business
that's an
side. I'm
excellent point.
happy you
Yeah.
had your best friend
Right.
to tell you that with as a brand, because one thing that we're still entrepreneurs. Like even with VIDA Fitness, I can actually you can probably still consider yourself an entrepreneur
Oh
even as a
yeah,
master's trainer, because you
definitely.
still have to
You
get
got to build your own
clients.
books. You got to treat yourself like it's your own business, even under the umbrella of Vita. So you still have
Yes.
to do your own thing.
So you're still an entrepreneur, and even as an entrepreneur, you still are a brand, because honestly, if we want to think about it, when it comes to fitness, if you don't look like what you're preaching and what your brand is representing, I don't want to work with you.
Right.
Like,
Right.
and I've seen, look, let me tell you, not only because we used to work together, but I've seen a lot of his clients, the Body by Bakari, honey, even if they are the clients of Vita, yes, it is amazing. Like, for instance, Francisco looks good. Sam looks good. She
Yeah.
is turning heads,
Yeah.
honey.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, when I'm telling you, like, he actually practiced what he preaches. I mean, also too, you can look at him, even though our blacks are like blending with the chair a little bit, but Bakari's always been someone that practiced what he preaches, and that's something I've always
I
admired about
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you. Thank
Right.
you. Thank you.
All right. So tell us, in the other time that your, let's say, your pastime, your leisure time, when you're not actually in the gym working out your clients or working out for
Yeah.
yourself and your own body, what are you doing to spend your time? How are you spend
Oh
your time?
man. If I enjoy spending time with friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm very naturally very social. So I
Yes.
just love spending quality time with people that are close to me.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of that, probably above all else, if you asked me 3 years ago, probably instantly would have said brunch. But these days, I am very into travel. I feel like my mind and consciousness just grows with every trip and meeting new people from the other side of the world and new cultures and new customs. So I guess that's the simple answer right now is
Okay.
traveling the world whenever I can.
Okay. You said, look, how
Yes.
y'all see how he lit up for that one? Just traveling. What was your last trip?
My last trip was Dubai.
My man was in Dubai. Who'd you in Dubai with?
Friends. It was a birthday trip. Birthday trip. I'm very close. With well, yeah, the people who I'm close with, and you can attest to this.
Uh huh.
I take birthdays very seriously.
Yes, we do birthdays serious around here. Yes, we do.
Yes. So, if you're close to me and you invite me somewhere for your birthday, I'll do everything I can to try to make it work. So
Hmm.
that's what it was. It was I got invited for a birthday.
I'm curious because this is also too, like, I love traveling. I've noticed that I do like a lot of solo trips, and now I got the man, so we travel with him. But yeah, right. But how are you traveling? Like, are you doing it like booking it way in advance? Are you using some type of specific app? Are you like cutting pennies? I don't think you fly Spirit because you're probably too big to fit in the seat. I've never flown Spirit, by the way, either. But how are you actually, besides maybe training, but how are you actually affording all these trips? I just want to know. The kids want to know.
It's many different factors. It depends on what specific trip you're looking for. If we go like super technical, my last travel trip was this past weekend where I went to Hampton Homecoming. So, I enjoy not staying local. Again, I like to experience new things and new people. Even though that's a very nostalgic weekend for homecoming, seeing a lot of old people, or people from the past. But otherwise, apps. Let's say if I'm doing a solo travel, I use Skip Leg for flights. I use Skyscanner. And I'll go to all the apps individually. I'm not anti-Spirit. I have been on Spirit plenty.
Oh, you have?
I have. I'm not picky.
How is that experience on Spirit?
It's fine. I just need to get there. When you get there, people don't ask how you got there. Okay. If you show up,
okay, true.
People don't ask how you got there. So if I'm seeing a flight that's $400 over here, and then Spirit say this $150, hey, I'm gonna take a little book bag and be on my way. Especially if it's less than 2 hours. Over 2 hours, we got to go with something with a little bit better accommodations.
Okay.
But I'm not picky at all. I'm not ashamed to say if it's a solo trip or a boys trip or something like that. I'm not one to be a stickler for accommodations. I have stayed at motels just to save money. Again, if you're with a group, do what's best for the group. Like my thing is, let's get there and have that experience. Of course, accommodations play a part of that, but I'm not a stickler for it. So I'll do what I can.
So you spend more money on the actual experience when you get there versus kind of like getting there and accommodations.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm very go with the flow. I feel like you have to be that way if you like to travel.
Okay.
So yeah, well, if it's a group trip, I'll go with the group and see what's going on and plan accordingly. If not, if I have to choose between going on all-day cruise with tour and going on the beach on the trip or staying in a really nice place, I'm gonna choose the experience over the accommodations.
Very true. I can see that as well. But also too, as I'm thinking about it and also knowing you like to be out. You don't like to stay in the room, especially if you're traveling somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not the type to stay
so
still.
that would make sense for you not to spend that much money on the accommodations and how to get there versus like, no, I'm going to spend this on this experience. I want to do this, this, and this. Let's find myself apart.
Yeah. So you gotta know yourself and know what you prioritize.
Knowing yourself, do you prefer solo or do you prefer group? But taking out the factor of birthdays, taking out the factor of like special occasions, do you prefer solo or group travel?
I don't have enough data for solo travel to
okay. I was like
to answer that question. I prefer right now, my answer is just travel, period. I've done some domestic solo travel when I got my tattoo sleeve up in Rhode Island, went 5 visits.
I remember
up to Rhode Island, and that was amazing. I loved how you could just operate and do everything on your own time. I love that. So I want to expand more and do some international solo travel. But the majority of my travel has always been with someone else.
Okay.
99%.
Yeah. What's your group max that you can do?
In terms of the maximum amount of people?
Yes.
I don't think I have a group max.
I feel bougie, y'all.
I guess also this year, this summer, went to Egypt as well. That was with a group of about over 100 people. 120, I want to say. That was a huge group.
Were you with like a travel agency?
That was with I didn't plan it, of course, but I was a part of an overall group where there are tour buses, 3 4 tour buses on a trip. Someone else planned and I paid my money and I get to be a part of that group. So yeah, it's cool with me.
Yeah, y'all. Again, he's very go with the flow. This just makes me feel very like high maintenance because I'm not staying in a motel. I'm not staying just anywhere.
I get it, especially as a woman. I can of course understand.
I'm just like I can't do that. But luckily, you just when go sure whatever. That's cool. So do you think that travel also too plays a part in your mental health?
Oh yeah, for sure. In many different ways. So I think just getting away from the hectic day to day that we can get into with work and taking care of home and back to work and trying to essentially schedule all of the different things of who we are to everyone,
Mm-hmm.
it can be a lot. It can get to you. So I think just stepping out of that and going into a place where you don't have to worry about the time, you don't have to worry about what's going on at work, what you need to do tomorrow. Yeah, the mental reset for me is huge. I could take just a quick weekend trip and be mentally and physically reset. It doesn't have to be a huge. It doesn't have to be Dubai,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but
That was actually about to be my next question. Like, when you feel your mental capacity starting to reach its limit, do you just do like, all right, hey, look, bro, I just gotta go somewhere for a weekend, or I just can't be here for a weekend? Is that like kind of what helps solve that?
Yeah, yeah. I usually think far enough in advance where I'm going somewhere every month.
I have noticed that, especially the past like 2 or 3 years since we
Yeah.
like outside of backed up. You're like, nah, bro.
I'm going somewhere. So that could be somewhere as close as my old stomping grounds in Richmond, just
Mm-hmm.
taking a trip down there and visit friends. I also am someone who I like to stay close to people that have been close to at one point. I don't like too much time to go by without reaching out, seeing someone in person, celebrating birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
So that also gives you a reason to go see people in different places. If you want to maintain those
Yeah.
relationships, got our boy that we know, Deontay, on the West Coast in
Yeah.
LA, right? Get somewhere to go to. I got friends in Texas and people in the Midwest and people in Florida. So, oh well, I haven't seen you in a while. Let me check up on you. Let me take a trip. Let's go hang out. So that'll also be a reason
I like
to get
that.
away. Yeah.
I really like that.
Hmm.
So tell me about your journey, because you say you fell in love with fitness around in college.
Hmm.
What was that journey like? Did something spark that? Was it a health issue or major life issue? Tell me what sparked that interest into getting into the fitness industry.
Definitely, definitely, and we'll even go further back with
Okay, we can. We got
um
time, honey. The couch is comfy.
we'll go further back with fitness. That spark started when I was in middle school.
Mm,
That's when that spark happened from a yeah, I guess I can call it a traumatic event that changed the course of my life, right? So I think that I'm a firm believer that just the right amount of trauma can help you be successful, right? So
run that back for the people in the back. Hold on.
just the right amount of trauma can help you be successful. So or put you in the right direction, can change things. You can word that however you want to, but
Hmm.
the right amount of trauma can do good. So I was overweight most of my childhood, going into middle school. So that's about what, 11, 12 years old.
Hmm.
And then I'd always played basketball as well. So I had to try out for the basketball team in middle school. Was very out of shape the first day of tryouts. They ran us, and didn't never touch the basketball. And just to weed out all the people who didn't really want it, right? Or wasn't in shape, didn't really have the mental capacity to continue on. I decided that I didn't decide. I was physically, I could not take that tryout on how rigorous it was for me.
Hmm.
And that physical acceptance also got to me mentally. And I decided to quit the first day of tryouts. Right? Play basketball my whole
Wow,
life.
that's what I'm thinking. I'm
Right.
like, yeah,
Yeah. That don't sound
you
like me.
love
I
basketball.
quit. I quit. Like, and I don't
Especially
quit
you and your dad.
anything.
Like,
Yeah.
y'all love basketball.
Yes. So I reflected on that. I remember it like it's yesterday. I reflected on that in the locker room after, and it's like, I don't like this feeling of just quitting something. I didn't even give myself a chance to be cut. So after that day, again, I was probably 11, 12. I forgot exactly what age I was, but for for 2 months after that, I reduced the size of the portions of food I ate, drank only water, and faithfully worked out every day after school. And then I lost 20 pounds. And then I
Nice.
got addicted to how my body responded to what I did to it. So I combine that with my love of people and just being social. So you get the addiction of well, not even, it can be an addiction. It's a good addiction. But get a sense of what your body can do when you put in effort and nutrition and work out, along with just a general sense of wanting to help people with the knowledge that I have. So I combine that, and here we are.
So what would you say like the percentages out of 100%, what percentages is food? The type of food, also going breaking down like the type of food
Mm,
you eat in fitness.
excellent question.
I know yeah. Look at
Excellent
her now,
question.
honey. Look at her
Excellent
now.
question. Yes. There's no doubt that the two are interconnected.
Okay.
I will say because you I would there's it's like in my world 60% nutrition, 40% your physical activity.
Okay.
Okay. Nutrition is a lot. And I think that we're so conditioned to just putting anything in our body without asking ourselves, is this helping my body?
Mm.
Right? We just
Mhm.
conditioned to, I'm hungry, let me put something inside my body, as opposed to, does this benefit my body? Because that is truly what food is supposed to do.
Mhm.
So that is definitely over activity. I don't want to get too deep into it.
That's fine.
But yes. Especially once you start to travel, you learn about chemicals and additions and toxins and all this other
Okay, yes. My next
stuff.
question would be for those people who are always staring at the number, is the number on the scale everything?
No,
Tell us why.
not at all. I will because the number are no two bodies are the same. The people have various shapes and sizes and curves and maybe lack thereof. Who
Yeah.
knows? So, and someone this tall with this shape can be the same weight on the scale as this person, this size, this shape, and they look totally different.
Mhm.
Um, so a better unit of measurement regarding health and fitness would actually be uh, body fat percentage. Um, I would take that as a standalone. Muscle mass plays a part in that, but body fat percentage is actually a better indicator of general health.
Y'all
Hmm.
hear that? Yes.
Hmm.
And the reason why I asked that is because so like I've shared on my journey before that I struggle with an eating disorder with food, bulimia nervosa. I've not relapsed in years, thank God, because while going to VIDA and working with like Khalil and even working with you too, of knowing the importance of how to one lose it healthy
Hmm.
and how to actually treat your body. So when we try like on the in body scale, and I was just like, I couldn't get past, like, I want to say I was at 310, and then I had got down to 295. It was like I wasn't getting past 295. And then when Khalil put me on the Embody scale, it was showing that I was actually gaining more lean muscle mass and my body fat was going down.
Hmm.
That it actually taught me the psychology of, okay, let's not just look at the number because everybody tells you, okay, the number, like you're overweight. But
Hmm.
at least this was telling me the breakdown of what I was actually doing. And at the time, I was eating a lot better than I was, and I was able to work out every day.
Yeah.
Now since I can't work out
Hmm.
the way that
Hmm.
I would like to, because I actually miss working out with you guys, and you guys made it really, really fun. But I went back on my emails and like controlled my portion sizes. I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't have sometimes some cheat meals at Chick-fil-A or like my Starbucks when I'm really just feeling like a caffeine thing. But I will say that it definitely does. It did change the game of not working out at all and just eating mighty meals for like 2 months. I had lost like 40 pounds in about, I want to say, a span over like 5 months.
Yeah.
What, especially that was like right before my first surgery, before the pandemic happened.
Hmm.
So I always want to ask professionals that
Hmm.
because when I be saying, they be like, "Well, I see how you looking right now." So I'm going through some things right now and reactions of how your body responds to medication and epidural steroid shots. Like, didn't know that okay, they're helping me with like pain levels, but they're actually making me gain a little bit more weight
Right.
than because it's a steroid. But it's like, okay, which one do I take more to at least get to a space where I'm not in chronic pain and chronic condition. So
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
very happy that you one repeated it on here. They heard it here.
Yeah, for sure.
Get it? But also too that if there was anything that I left with from personal training with you guys, it was definitely that. And I just thank you for that nugget of knowledge.
Of
So
course, yes. There's always nuggets. There's nuggets that you should never not want to learn more
Mhm.
nuggets and knowledge. I think that's what life is about, is constantly learning and growing.
Now, you, even as a professional and a master trainer at this level, can you say that you are still a student within your craft at this
Oh,
moment?
for sure. And I will never not be.
Tell us why.
The person who thinks they know the most knows the least.
Since I wanted to have you on here.
And people who usually know the most talk the least.
Yes.
So uh you I think that most people, when you think about like movies
Mhm.
or TV shows, and there's someone with a whole bunch of wisdom, they have a
Mhm.
lot of experience and knowledge. Those not the ones running their mouth all the time. Those aren't the ones super loud and obnoxious. Those are the ones that people are coming to ask for advice, and they're usually more silent, more just observant, right? So, and taking everything in, and then they can make analyze and great decisions based on what they see and what if they observe. So I'm someone who now and I'm very intentional about constantly learning new things.
Mhm.
And then the more you know, the better you can be. So yeah, I'll always be a student of
No,
life.
I love that because not a lot of people want to stay students, and knowledge is power.
Mhm.
I think that's again what they said. I forgot who was speaking, but it was said at your party and your parents' anniversary party, where they were saying that knowledge is power and you
Mhm.
continue to grow with knowledge. But to obtain knowledge, you have to then go seek it and be
Yeah.
willing to learn and accept it and then absorb it. So a lot of people don't want to be students of their craft. And if you aren't a student of whatever craft that you're in, then you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Just point blank period, because you, in order to succeed in really whatever your version of success looks like, you
Mhm.
have to be willing to learn
Right.
and be teachable.
Definitely. Definitely. They gotta be coachable. Gotta be.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to, because you've been having a lot of big things to happen to you, and I'm just super excited. You were in the news, right, for my Fit DC?
Yes. Yes, I was. I was on the news, local news.
What was that? I mean, hey, it was the news, honey. It was TV. What was that
Yes.
experience like?
Fantastic. I can be fortunate to say it was not my first time on TV.
Oh,
So it just keeps getting better and better. Another Fit DC ambassador, Britt,
for yoga,
she
right?
so Britt Daniels
Oh, okay.
is yoga. Um, I'm slipping. I want to say she is also she's the hype
Oh,
woman.
Britt Waters.
Britt Waters.
Yes,
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 yes.
yes.
Her last name was escaping me. Britt Waters
Mhm.
was also working with that station. So
Mhm.
she was interviewing me. So I felt very, very comfortable.
Oh, nice. I
Felt
know. We
very
love
comfortable.
Britt. She's amazing. The fact that she also too just released her own seltzer.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
she
was not
released. She
aware.
had her own salsa release party. I think 3 weeks ago. I forgot who did it.
Oh, wow.
But
Good for her.
it's a Paris salsa. You know how she loves her some salsa.
Hmm.
So tell us about your partnership with MyFitDC and how that got started.
So yeah, fit DC is, and it could be I can see why you call it my fit DC. That's what the website
Oh, I'm sorry.
says.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and that's what their social media handle is, my
Yes.
fit DC. But yeah, fit DC is, well, it started essentially just from knowing folks and having good relationships with people,
That part.
because one of the directors of fit DC, Sarah, she used to work at VIDA corporate,
Yes, she did.
and me and Sarah were always really cool. And then pandemic happened.
Hmm.
She left Vita and then found a way within to Fit DC and reached out. Hey, would you like to be an ambassador? Sure, definitely. So I think it's just one of those things where it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Absolutely, and I'm definitely learning that more and more. My mentor, Backpack Jeff, is teaching me that. Also, too, my mentor, Divya Gupta, is all about relations. Like, even at this conference I've been at, all this week, SpeakerCon, ran by Dr. Sherwood, which my business actually was a sponsor. So I'm like trying to get people to be more intentional about their business to help them, but They just don't want to do it. How do you change with, I want to say, whether it be the seasons of how you building your brand and building your entrepreneurship and building your clients? How do you maneuver or change with that?
I think there's always a balance of making sure you stay true to who you are with everything at all times, but also just in a way reading the room of life and seasons, and kind of keeping your ear to the streets a little bit. And I'm not super duper into. I try to limit social media, but I can understand its power, right? So I think there is something to say with someone who is relatively relevant with social media things, or saying jargon that is funny that someone can know, oh, that's from this meme or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, and then using that to maybe promote something that you have coming up, or an event, or a special promotion for clients, or something of that nature. So I do think that there's a balance of using your own personality, but also staying in tune with what's going on in modern
I like that.
day. Hmm.
One thing I've learned from Jeff is that even when building your brand, it's not always about what you want. Even
Yeah.
as extrovert as you are, this is actually the first time I've heard you say that. No, I understand its power, but I kind of limit that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
but for me, it's like I, I like again, I understand its power. I know what it does. Like, I just got a TikTok. I want to say a month ago.
Mm. Okay. How's that going?
I'll say this. Because one thing also too with social media is this is a distraction.
Hmm.
So me having to right now, I'm manifesting that I'm going to have a virtual and a actual in-person assistant by this time next year, but to also to help me manage these accounts. But one thing I've also learned in my entrepreneur journey is that I've worked for so many different companies and had so many different type of managers and directors where I've learned the what to and what not to do when it comes to running your team.
Mm.
And when it comes to my business, and as you say, like even if whatever what we do, and if we're, I want to say it, whether we're savvy or expert in our field, we still are our brand ourselves. I want to make sure that I learn every aspect of my business
Of
so
course.
I can teach it to
Mhm.
my team members in a way that it's like, what type of decision is Talia going to make if something breaks down, or what will she post or something like that. So I'm working on like building more content just to post it, get the hell off of it,
Right.
because I know I have to post to be consistent. And but I also know that for my own mental health days, depending on like whether sometimes my anxiety may act up that day or not, I can't pay attention to the likes. So I turn off my likes, I turn off my comments.
Hmm.
I set a timer when I need to check in, when I don't need
Yeah.
to check in, schedule my content and reply back as much as I can. Because also too with the meta universe, they're not monetizing just for the reels anymore, but they're monetizing in a different way to so much show how much engagement you have.
Yeah. Yep.
So I try to make sure I'm intentional about what I'm putting out there, but everything that I want to make sure represents me is the vulnerability and this authenticity of what I'm portraying.
There you go. Yep. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey, thank you. Yes, in a
Hmm.
nutshell.
Hmm.
So when we got back in touch the end of the summer, I was so happy to see that you are also an ambassador for Actively Black. And the
Yes.
reason why I saw that, right? I was looking at the fashion show
Mm.
view from Kadeem and was it Deval, the Ellises. I
Hmm.
love the Ellises.
Hmm.
And Teresa the Songbird, who's also another spoken word poet, how she performed at the show.
Hmm.
Next thing I saw was you like posing like this with the Actively Black. That was
Hmm.
like,
Hmm. Yep.
I know him.
Yeah.
I know him. And I was like, he's so Actively Black too. So please,
Mhm.
I'm very excited. Sorry, that was very loud.
Thank
But
you.
anyway,
No, no, I appreciate it.
if you know
I
one thing,
appreciate it.
I'm a Jew. I'm gonna hype you up
Yes,
because
I
I was just
definitely
like,
appreciate it.
I saw that. I was
I'm just as excited for myself. So no, it's dope, man. It's super dope. So that ambassadorship happened very very organically, right?
like,
And it's interesting because it's funny because right after I got the Fit DC ambassadorship, my eye was like, what else can I be an ambassador for?
Right.
Like, if I'm just an ambassador for everything, that's but I will say selfishly, I was like, well, can I get some free shit? Can I get paid for
Yeah.
wearing? You know what I mean? But
Right.
it shouldn't be about that. It shouldn't. That should just be a sidebar. So, um, what happened with Actively Black was that I had seen their advertisements and their marketing so much for probably like a year. And I finally decided to try it. I'm like, let me try it out. Let me see what's going on. And then I got the first shipment of clothes in, and I was like, whoa, this is nice. And it's black owned.
Mm-hmm.
And the message and the mission I stand fully behind
Uh-huh.
of being unapologetically black. Right?
That's one thing you and your parents are
And
all
and
about.
being very pro-black. And pro-black does not mean you're trying to tear anyone else down,
Absolutely.
right? You're trying to do well for our people, trying to have representation, and not trying to have a seat at the table, trying to bring our own table. So that was all stuff, and I felt a different sense of pride wearing it. Not that it was only nice, which it was, but I was like, "Oh, I stand behind with everything this
Mm-hmm.
means and the value behind it." So I essentially just kept buying stuff, kept buying it, and telling people, "Oh, well, that's nice. What is this? Oh, this is Active Black. You want to check it out?" I wasn't an ambassador, so at the time, and and Actively Black is a relatively newer company. It just started in the pandemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's only a few years. And learning about the story of the founder, Lanny Smith, and he's a former basketball player. And he started it, and just seeing his personality through social media. I haven't had a chance to meet him in person yet, but whoever's running the Actively Black page knows who I am. And
Hey.
they came out with a, how do I put this? It's essentially a, yeah, ambassadorship for all of their supporters thus far. Again, it's a younger company, so they realized the best way to grow was through word of mouth, right? And they reached out via email, said, "Hey, if you want to continue to support us, we have this program that you can be a part of." It was over from there. Um, and since then, majority, not all, but majority of my athleisure is turning into Actively Black. For, like, why not? Why wouldn't it?
I love it.
Yeah, my
No, it
parents
looks
on.
it you
Yeah,
look fly because I've been
thank
seeing like some of your other videos when you're working out. And I'm like, I like that shirt, even though I got a lot of. I like that
you.
shirt.
Yeah.
I was like telling James, I was like, James, you want to try this? Like, so you can work out in this in your room. Like, you want this?
Hmm.
He was like, actually, I do like that. And I was like,
Hmm.
yeah. So
Hmm.
I actually got him some for
Oh,
Christmas.
good,
I got him for
good.
some for Christmas. I think it was like a T-shirt because he has really huge calves.
Hmm.
Like it looks like Greek boots back there, but he also too is like built like a linebacker, which is what he's offensive lineman. Yes, offensive
Mm.
lineman.
Okay, different positions now.
Yeah, I know.
It's different.
It's different positions. So
Yeah,
he's
it's
actually
different
that was
positions.
actually what he played, and he made so like he has these really like thick arms, also like really thick calves. So I was like, let me just try it. So I bought one of them. I'm like, oh, it actually stretches. It's like good material,
Hmm.
and like you said, I love it that it's black owned. Now going into speaking of black owned, I want to ask this next question because it can be controversial, but hey, sometimes I just like to be messy and have tea. But when it comes to black owned businesses,
Hmm.
are you only going to completely support because it's black owned, or are you also supporting because it's a solution to maybe a problem that you're having, or it's entertainment, or actually the products are good, or are you only just going to support it hands down because it's black owned?
I think it can be situational. I think that my eye gravitates towards black owned first, right?
Uh
Because
huh.
I want to keep the dollar in the community, keep
Mm-hmm.
it circulating as much as possible. I realize that usually when black folks get their dollar, it leaves the community right away, right?
Yes,
So I intentionally try to support black owned first.
that's good.
Now you have pros and cons with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Cons is that, black owned businesses, you a lot of times may be smaller starting off when you try to do this, so you have to be more patient with the way things are going. You may not have, in regards to retail, the fastest shipping or stuff like that. And sometimes if it's a smaller company, customer service, the company's also trying to figure it out. So you have to have a lot of patience with that. If they can if they can solve a solution or solve a problem that you have simultaneously, great. But I think I will usually try and attempt to support my own folks first. Now, if the business is not pulled through, hey, I tried. Eh, eh, I tried. All right, now I'm going with maybe not black owned.
Okay.
If the business doesn't pull through, but I think I definitely intentionally try to gravitate to supporting black owned businesses for sure,
Okay.
large or small.
I like that. A lot of people will make a difference. They'll say like the solution's not there, things like that. I am now also too moving intentionally with yes, I want to do black owned, but also try to do minority owned as well and
There
women
you
owned
go. Yeah,
brands.
for sure.
Just
For
because
sure.
as a black woman, like or even as a black person, period, no matter what gender you are, it's already hard enough now trying to get the dollar of really anybody, but making sure that all of my standards and everything is up to par so that way I am delivering a value and a service. So that way, even though I know my value, you just have to get other people to see it in a way that also creates a solution for them to whatever problem that they have. So yes, for me, I'm starting to move more intentionally by supporting those different brands, but I will say sometimes the pockets right now, be very clear on that. Sometimes I may can't always do that, but when I do get checks or stuff like that, even like people I met at the conference today who have books and stuff like that, I was like, if you give it to me on Amazon, you put it on says on Afterpay. I promise at least you support to make sure that they know that it. And also too, I believe in good karma too that it will come back around. I don't do it for the money, but money, the bills don't stop. Bills just don't stop. But just to make sure that they also know that somebody else does support them, and I am a person of my word. You said that on Monday of this week, you actually had an event with Fit DC.
Yes.
Something.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
You actually
okay.
had an event with Fit DC. Tell us about that event that you had.
So what I did this past Monday was a workout sponsored by Fit DC and DC Parks and Rec on the campus of Howard University in the middle of their quad. Right, so
Nice.
it was a DJ, had snacks, good food, bananas, some water, and I taught a cardio and kickboxing class, and it was a great time. It wasn't a whole bunch of people. Again, wasn't marketed heavily.
Okay.
Only had less than three folks that came out, and they were high energy. So the people that wanted
Nice.
to come, sometimes it's great to have a huge class of like 300 people, and that's something to marvel in its own. But it's also really cool to have three people that really want to be there, right, and just like feel the energy of just those people. So that's what happened on Monday, and I had a ball. I had a ball.
I love that. And also too, I love the fact that you pinpoint on the fact that sometimes it's not always about like those hundreds and hundreds of crowds, but even if it's like three or even one person like that actually comes, whether it be a class or it be an event, like it's at least someone showed up and you have to worry about the people who did show up instead of the ones who didn't. And also too, an audience is an audience.
Exactly.
So you're still gonna always give them 110% or even 1,000% every single time. I love that you touch on that point, especially
Definitely.
like with the
Yeah,
class. Like that was great.
my father always says for events or things that you invite people to, it's the people who are supposed to be there were there.
Yes, absolutely.
A
Your
lot of
dad's
times
so
people get
amazing.
caught up in who is not there. No, the people who are supposed to be there were there. So
And who actually support you.
exactly.
Would you consider yourself successful?
Yes,
Why was there a hesitation?
because I think our society has a preconceived, very materialistic notion of success, and
Absolutely.
I don't think success is a destination.
Absolutely. I think it's definitely what you make it and what it looks like to you. So as far as right now, what does success look like to you?
I think success is also a lot of times people usually put success with their professional life,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't think you're necessarily successful because people may look at someone with a whole bunch of money, millionaire, billionaire, whatever, And oh yeah, they're super successful, a whole bunch of money, and they may not know who they are internally. They may have the worst personal life ever. They don't have any time outside of that. They may not have loved ones who care about them on their birthday. They're hanging out by themselves. Like you never know. You never
Yes.
know. So people will say, "I want that life." You don't know what all that entails, right? So success, I think, is living in a state of mind, just a state of being where you are feeling fulfilled and successful in whatever you're doing,
Yes.
right? If you had just had pure joy and fulfillment, ultimately, I think that's one of the better words I can use right now, and purpose, then that to me is what success looks like.
I love that. What is the next thing that you would like to accomplish in the future?
Ooh, I'm gonna just keep rolling the way things are rolling. Again, I'm someone who does things very organically and naturally. I can't say my best quality has always been long term planning,
Yeah.
but
I remember those talks. Yeah.
yeah, I can't say that's always been my best quality, but I'm getting better at that. And but I feel like I have a great sense of energy and when things are going well, trending well, when things are not. So
You do.
if things are getting stagnant or not showing a trend upwards, that is when I know I think the ambition that my mom laid in me starts to kick in. Like, all right, something, we got to get something rolling, something going.
Mhm.
And I think that what's next is going to just continue again to be on track for this promotion within VIDA Fitness, reach that 5 year mark. It's always a good goal to have, to have something at the end of the tunnel there with Fit DC to just teach more classes. Right now, it's a little bit few and far between. It could be one every month or every other month. So if I can get that more frequently, that's what next. And then ultimately, just within those two, continue to help people and grow and network, right, and make good relationships wherever I am, and keep riding that joyful and fulfilledness, yeah, until I'm not in this physical body anymore.
I feel that. Because you mentioned your parents a lot, and
Mhm.
I want to hear how what gets you in the mindset, which I probably know the answer is your parents, but what gets you in this positive mindset of not giving up, and also to who how has your parents played a role in keeping this mindset?
Ooh, how have my parents played a role? Man,
Because I love your parents, and they're so amazing.
thank you. I love them too. Uh, I think a lot of, and being a lot more reflective now than I feel like I've ever been in my life. I know that the environment that I grew up in was a very fortunate one where sometimes people have asked me, "How are you positive all the time?" I was like, I didn't feel or see any negativity growing up, right? And just looking back on it, I'm like, whoa, I didn't really see them fight. I didn't see bad mouth each other or talk negatively of each other or do anything really with like negative energy. All I saw was positivity. So I think that was probably one of the biggest things that has carried over just in my day-to-day life as an adult is remaining positive, optimistic, seeing the glass half full, whatever you may want to call it. And along the way, different things that they have in life, like good characteristics that they have, replays in my head whenever different situations come up. So um yeah, I'm my only child too, so that's those my dogs, those are homies.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
They have
Yes, you
huge
are.
influence, and I consider them not only professionally successful, but also successful within life and just being human beings. So, great role models. So I can always lean on them for any type of advice, assistance, and use them as a resource.
Would you call them your biggest inspiration?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see your face. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 I mean, because yeah, girl, Yeah, I've seen them through different stages of their life, and then now thinking about it as a kid, I didn't understand it as much then, but saw them through different jobs, different roles, different homes, going on trips, how to battle adversity when that comes up, because it's gonna happen.
Yes.
Nobody lives a whole life without feeling any type of adversity with anything. It can be physical, it can be mental, it can be external with friends, relationships, whatever. So just seeing how they handle it and how they operate with it, has equipped me with plenty of ammo to tackle life.
We have to snap it up for the Taylors, honey, because y'all don't know. They are phenomenal people. I love them so much. They've always been good to just like the way I see how they're pairing you, and they've also are so supportive of even like me and my business and like your friends. Like they're phenomenal human beings. So we're gonna wrap this up shortly. So we have a tradition here on your Heard It Here podcast where we want you to tell our listeners, our viewers, something that they're only going to hear here.
Oof.
So, what would you say to people about your journey of entrepreneurship and your journey of success? What is something that you want to tell them and leave them with only here on this
I think I'll take a piece of what I mentioned earlier regarding just going through life. I now see bad moments or adversity as always just a lesson. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lesson. So just ask yourself, all right, what do we learn?
Yes.
It takes you into a different perspective of dealing with it. So one, it doesn't happen again, and two, you can grow from it. Right. So I'm very holistic. Nothing in life would be here if it didn't grow and evolve. So if you know how to do that well, you can avoid a lot of things that keeps plenty of other folks down and maybe had kept you down in the past until you shift your perspective and like, how can I grow from this?
Okay. Nice. I love it. Thank you so much for that.
Of course.
And then by the time this airs, it's gonna be the holidays. How are you spending your holidays this year? Are
I'll be
you
local. I'll be
oh,
local.
you'll be local?
I'll be local. I'll be
Okay.
local. Yeah. I'm going on my fourth international trip next week this year. So so
one this year.
so
Where's it going?
St. Lucia.
Where's that again?
That is in the Caribbean. That's
Okay.
right next to Saint. Don't take my word on this. I know. I'm going.
I
I'm
know
going.
I know I've seen it.
It's on the map. I've had to look at maps a few times. I've never
Yeah.
been. I love going places I've never been. And I can't wait.
Okay, who you going with?
Whoever gonna be there.
So I want to ask this. So I said it earlier. Are you the definition of catch flights, not feelings, right now?
Oh, I'm always gonna catch flights, whether feelings are involved or not. Flights will never end. feelings can come and go, but the travel bug is never gonna leave. As I mentioned, I just always feel just an expansion of consciousness and knowledge, and it's a way of learning and growing. So
I love that.
that's always gonna be there. It's
I love the
twofold.
fact that you say, "Hey, bro, flights is gonna happen regardless," because I love that. Because some people are like, "Yeah, no, like yeah." So let's break up these trends, these narratives.
Yeah.
Um,
Can it be flights and feelings? Flights not feelings. Like your feelings gonna be there. People trying to act like they ain't got feelings. You got feelings.
Just because you take off the ground don't mean
Right.
the feelings is left
You
on
coming
it.
right back where you came from, where the feelings
Exactly.
at.
Or they traveling with you in the sky.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and you
So
thinking about it in
you
the
better
sky.
learn how to balance those flights and those feelings because you try to do too much. Don't go to one side or the other too much. You balance always with everything balance.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Bakari,
I
for
appreciate it.
coming and supporting. Like, thank you for always also being supportive with me and my businesses. I totally appreciate you. This has been another wonderful episode of your Heard It Here podcast. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, to share this episode. If there's anything that you learned from this episode, let us know in the comments. Make sure that you go and follow Bakari at Body by Bakari. So like Bacardi with a K, not a C. And follow me at VTC Heard. That's THETC Heard, like you heard something, and you heard it here podcast.com. Well, no, you heard it here podcast. So on Instagram, we thank you so much for joining us for another wonderful episode. Whether it's the morning, afternoon, or evening, may you have a wonderful, blessed, and successful day. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Peace.
Happy hello, it's me, VTC Heard, and I'm here to remind you to make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and the podcast You Heard It Here. You can do it on YouTube and Spotify, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please and thank you, because why? You want to hear more content, don't you? Of course you do. You want to hear me, you want to hear the folks I'm going to bring on here, and it's going to be great. So we'll catch you later.